Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. I want to talk to you guys about the one and only cryptocurrency that I am personally going to be investing in inside of the bear market. Many people have been asking me to make some updates on cryptos that I've been actively accumulating, and the truth of the matter is there's really only one crypto, and inside of that one ecosystem that I'm actually accumulating. There's only one main crypto that I'm actually looking to be buying inside the bear market. So for today's video, I'm going to be breaking down why I'm buying this, why I'm accumulating it, and why I believe that it's destined to be the best performing assets over the next couple of years. If you're new and just find this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And if you guys are looking for some free educational content to teach you guys a lot of the basics of crypto investing, I have a link in the description to go ahead and download my free beginner's guide to crypto ebook. It's going to help you guys out tremendously. That's why I made it free to download. Links are in the description. And with that being said, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so if you guys don't know already, I already have made a video once about this, but the one crypto that I'm focused on inside the bear market is going to be PulseChain. This is a cryptocurrency that's not actually out yet, and a lot of people have been asking me, is this sponsored content? Am I paid by Richard Hart in some way? And the answer is no. This is just simply the one crypto that I have the most confidence in giving the highest ROI over this next cycle. And that's for me one of the big focuses that I've tried to find inside the bear market. What's that new emerging crypto that has the potential to come on scene and just immediately take over? And honestly, when it comes down to it, I like PulseChain, and I don't necessarily think that it's going to come over and flip Ethereum, take over Solana, you know, become the greatest crypto aside from Bitcoin. I'm not saying that by any means. I have really positive expectations around PulseChain, but I also have realistic expectations. And we're going to kind of go through and explain to you guys prior cycles, prior layer 1s and layer 2s that have done well, and then talking about really why I believe PulseChain is set to do tremendously well right from the get-go. Something we don't see oftentimes in a lot of these other cryptos. Now, first things first, guys. What I've always maintained inside of my investment plan, what I've always told you guys, even going all the way back in 2020, even in 2019 in some of those early videos on this channel, one of the things I've always stuck to was the fact that any crypto that you're looking to invest in into a coming cycle, look for the ones that have other cryptos that can be built under them. Look for an entire ecosystem that you can invest in. Look for the Ethereums, look for the Solanas, look for the Polkadots. Cryptos that are going to have an entire ecosystem built underneath those. Those are the best performing cryptos because if one of those underlying cryptos does good, it benefits your entire ecosystem as a whole. And so we've always seen these layer 1s and layer 2s performing the best in each one of these cycles, with layer 1s performing the absolute best because there you see the most infrastructure being created. Now when it comes to PulseChain, we're already seeing a ton of projects that are planning to build on this, and they're planning to launch on opening day. Not all of them are going to launch on opening day, but there's already 120 different projects that are lining up to do so. This is exactly what we would expect to see with any new emerging layer 1 market to come up. When there's a new layer 1 coming up, a lot of cryptos are looking to capitalize on that. The issue with Ethereum, and something I've experienced firsthand when it comes to launching projects of my own, when it comes to Ethereum, it's almost impossible to use when all of the hype is in. And we were launching a crypto when there was a lot of hype, but it wasn't anything close to the maximum hype that we saw when Ethereum was at $4,500. What we saw throughout that period of time was just to do an airdrop, it would cost like $200,000. And that's just to send out a mass transaction. So Ethereum makes it to where the average person, you know, unless you got millions of dollars, you're not going to be able to launch a crypto on Ethereum. Unless you're doing it inside the bear market, but chances are most people aren't because they don't have the money or the funds ready to do so. And so when it comes to PulseChain, this is a crypto that's going to be starting from the ground up, and it's launching without having all of this private funding already going into play. Now, we're not going to read into a ton of this. All you guys really need to understand is that there's going to be a lot of new projects launching on PulseChain, which is why I think that instantly we're going to get an added benefit of all of these new emerging markets jumping on board. They're capitalizing on the zero gas. They're capitalizing on the scalability. They're capitalizing on the new emerging markets with NFTs, with DAOs, with DeFi and stuff like that. And not only that, but all of this kind of going on at the same time is going to boost the price of PulseChain, which is ultimately going to be benefiting everybody that's originally getting on board. Whether you're providing liquidity, whether you're doing different things with DeFi, you're going to be able to earn money right from the get-go. And the money that you earn at the very beginning is going to be the highest because that's when all of these projects are just beginning. If there's an opportunity for an airdrop, then it's always the people that are getting on board with these chains firsthand. And I know firsthand from somebody that's met a lot of these different people that were way smarter than me, that got onto these projects way earlier than I did. These are people that have positioned themselves that once these projects go live, just because they have money on the chains, all of these new projects are going to be doing different airdrops. And when they do these free airdrops, all of the people that were first on board are going to have the first dibs on getting access to those. And so not only are you getting the opportunity of making a lot of profit by being early and buying the token, not only are you getting the opportunity of getting it early, and also there not being any sort of major institutional competitors that are going to be fighting against you in seed rounds and things like that. But then also on top of all of this, you have the opportunity of getting these free airdrops, and all of that is going to be taking place as the biggest free airdrop is going on with PulseChain. PulseChain launching, everybody that owns anything on the Ethereum network, any ERC20 tokens and ERC721s, anything is going to be duplicated on the PulseChain. And so you're going to be able to take all of your free tokens that are duplicated on the PulseChain network, and you'll be able to convert that back into PulseChain tokens. And so you're literally going to be getting all of this free money from the very beginning, which is what tells me instantly the price is going to be doing good, or at least the very little. There's going to be a lot of people jumping on board this, which is going to create opportunities inside the underlying ecosystem. Now guys, when we're thinking in terms of why I see all of this value, it's great. There's all of this good reason to be bullish. I just explained some of these, but let's talk about other markets and the market cap that they jumped up to. Keep in mind guys, the big reason that I want you guys to focus on PulseChain is because it is literally catered for the average person like me, like you, that doesn't have a ton of portfolio balance. And really guys, even specifically, the guys that have like $5,000 and less dollars, if you're looking for an investment that could potentially get you that $100,000, maybe even make you a millionaire, I genuinely believe that PulseChain is going to be that, because of the fact, like I've stated many, many times over, when we're looking at cryptos, let's look at Polkadot for our first example. When we're looking at Polkadot, this was a crypto that launched, keep in mind that what we're looking at is the market cap, at $400 and $500 million in market cap, and then it instantly shot up to over $1.8 billion. So in our first little launch wick, even though we pulled back here, we went from $500 million to $2 billion in market cap. And it was already launching, way above any of the good entries, right? If we would have wanted to get into this sub $100 million in market cap, well, that's not possible because you're not an institutional investor. So literally a lot of these cryptos purposely give out a large supply of their tokens to institutional investors in private rounds because they would rather the supply be gobbled up by a fine majority of institutions that they control, or they at least have a big say in what they're going to vote on. And so that they can ultimately control all of the DAO, all of the governance systems that come on board. So all the new emerging markets that are launching on this throughout the hype, they're predominantly centralized because it's controlled by the people and the founding members that invested into the project. The reason why I love PulseChain so much is because even though we have the same whales that are going to be getting on board, you have the same people that are thinking, oh hey, I have billions of dollars or I have millions of dollars, let's get into this PulseChain early on. You're going to have whales no matter what inside of every market. But the reason I like PulseChain is because the whales that are into PulseChain are going to be much more correlated with the longevity of the ecosystem of PulseChain, right? When it comes to Polkadot, it's not that these whales aren't focused on the longevity of PulseChain. It's just that these guys are more correlated with the founding members. They're much more tied together with those founding members. And so if the founding members want something done, then obviously speaking, these guys are going to be able to pull the decision inside of the DAO governance to do so. They own the supply of the tokens. Whereas a lot of the people that are getting into PulseChain today are people that were early on into Hex, people that were already early on to these ideas and understood the value firsthand. A lot of these whales are going to be people that weren't whales until they were made millionaires off of Hex. And so you have a new group of people that were created from the ground up, and I think that that's really going to tell a lot when the value proposition comes into PulseChain long term. It's ultimately dominated by people that genuinely believed in the ecosystem early on. Because when we're looking at even Ethereum, Ethereum's market cap at the first cycle peaked at $146 billion. Imagine if you were able to get into Ethereum back in the ICO, which I actually do know somebody that was able to do that. He was buying Ethereum at like 40 cents, right? And so this was at a time where, you know, back then you had to either be working with the project, be working with the founders, or know the founders in order to get on board with some of this stuff. Nowadays, if you're not an accredited investor, if you don't have some sort of proof, you're never going to get access, and it's in fact illegal to participate in ICOs if you're an American citizen. So there's never really these opportunities of getting in at the ground floor inside of a layer 1 that's just getting ready to go absolutely insane in value. Ethereum went the craziest when it went straight to $145 billion in market cap. Solana was a more comparable target inside of our most recent cycle, and we ran all the way up to about $80 billion in market cap. So these are cryptos, and when we're looking at Solana, I mean, Solana, you actually did have a chance to get in here at, you know, $10 million in market cap. I bought Solana at 60 cents, which would have been about 15 million in market cap. I didn't hold all that way. I sold it up in here. But nonetheless, guys, it goes to show that had you have gotten early, had you have known about Solana, had you have just simply thought in your head, layer 1s are going to be big, I'm going to go out and buy all the layer 1s, whether they turn into something or not, and you would have bought Solana at the ground floor, it wouldn't have mattered because you would have bought a $10 million market cap crypto before it would literally skyrocketed nearly to $100 billion. So this is what I'm talking about. The cryptos that have the biggest cycles are always the layer 1s, the ones that have cryptos building under them. And when we're looking at Polkadot was one of those that peaked clear up here at 55 billion, and it even went through private funding. So imagine if you were able to get into Polkadot at $10 million in market cap. Well, that's exactly what PulseChain is. Because of the fact there's no promised and guaranteed value, it's starting from zero. It's literally starting from zero, nothing. Imagine buying Bitcoin when it was just on the ledgers, being transactioned through just smart people that knew how to code. Imagine how great it would have been to buy Bitcoin when it was worth pennies, right? Well, that's what we have the opportunity of doing with PulseChain, because there isn't all of the private funding. There isn't all of this that was done behind the scenes before it launches. It's literally what we're going to get right at launch day. Yes, there's going to be a lot of market cap because there's going to be a ton of money flooding into it. But that's what I mean, guys. It's literally starting from zero, and it's starting from true nothingness and appreciating in value through the community itself. The one thing almost none of these new cryptos launching do anymore. And that's why I've always found value in Bitcoin, was because by buying Bitcoin in the early days, I mean, you were literally buying something that was just 100% governed by the free market, and it was just being governed by the free market, and they were shooting the price up substantially. We watched as Bitcoin went from literally zero all the way up to 400 to 10,000 to 20, and even upwards of $60,000. We watched all of this happen, and Bitcoin was the one crypto that showed true price appreciation. There was no pre-sales, there was no anything like that. And with Hex and with PulseChain, even though there's a little bit of a sacrifice round, that's different because it's literally a fundraiser to donate money to charity. It wasn't any promised value whatsoever. So that's why I believe that we're going to see it do so well, is because everybody that's getting into it has the opportunity of getting in at the price from the ground up. I mean, if we're watching this chart, the seed rounds were all the way down here from zero all the way up to 500 million in market cap, meaning everybody got pushed out and you were only able to buy at $500 million in market cap and up. And then instantly it pumped to 2 bill the second that it launched on exchanges. So I mean, at the end of the day, guys, most of these cryptos are controlled by the early investors. And the reason why I think that you guys have the best opportunity of making a lot of profit off Pulse is because there is none of that. It's launching from zero, and it's going into true price appreciation. Now, the final thing I want to talk to you guys about today, was really a market cap of Uniswap. Now, Uniswap went straight up to about $25 billion in market cap from the time of the cycle top. Now, if you guys remember, Uniswap pretty much started down here at about 35 million, and it pumped all the way up here to $1 billion because there was an insane amount of hype that was coming in here because these guys had the biggest free airdrop in history. The reason why I'm talking about Uniswap today is because the same marketing tactic used by Uniswap to make Uniswap what it is today is going to be used by Richard Hart and PulseChain. So like I stated at the beginning of this video, when the PulseChain network goes live, when everything is ready to be launched, when everything actually goes live, what we're going to see is everybody that owns anything in the Ethereum network, all of that's going to get duplicated onto the PulseChain network. When that happens, everybody's got free money sitting on PulseChain. They can then take all of that duplicated money and convert it back into PulseChain, which is what I'm going to do. Or they can hold it and, you know, maybe the project does something long term. Maybe the founders pick it up. Who knows what ends up playing out. But the big hype is the fact that everybody that owns anything in Ethereum is going to get free money on PulseChain. So literally everybody that has any money in Ethereum is going to get qualified for this free airdrop. At the time, you would have had to have been an early investor and had to have actually used Uniswap before they launched the token, which is what I was doing just barely. I was barely using Uniswap before they launched this new token. I just happened to qualify for the airdrop. The great thing about PulseChain is not only is everybody going to get in at zero, at the ground floor when this thing launches, as the price starts from nothing and climbs into whatever it's going to, but at the same time, it's also going to be marketed as the biggest free airdrop in history that every single person that has and uses Ethereum will qualify for. That will be so monumentally massive that I can't even put it into words. I try really hard to explain it to you guys and break it down in videos like this, but you know, there's still people that think I'm just a paid shill. I could not be more serious. There's a reason why I'm putting so much money into this crypto. And it's just simply because of the fact layer ones are going to do the best, and PulseChain is going to have such a hyped cycle coming into this next cycle. I just simply have a lot of faith in it moving forward. So I'm betting big on this. This is the one crypto I'm investing in. If I do invest into some other cryptos, understand that there are going to be cryptos under the PulseChain ecosystem. There will be some of these cryptos launching. Like I stated, 120 new projects are going to launch. And that number is only going to continue to climb as more people find the value of PulseChain. As all of this is going on, guys, you don't want to miss out. Find all of this information before it happens. I'll link in the description some of this stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to do your own research. If you guys want to find some of this information before I end up talking about it, all of this is going to get posted inside of my VIP. So if you guys want to follow those trades that I take, all of my expert picks, links are in the description for that. At the end of the day, guys, thank you so much for the support. I truly want to see you guys be able to make the most money possible. And this is one of the ways that I see that fit. If you guys found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing updates. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.